Hey everyone, Laramy here from Moving Panels. I just want to take a moment to wish each of you a very Merry Christmas. I hope this holiday season brings you warmth, joy, and lots of time with the people who matter most. Whether you're cozying up with your favorite holiday movies, enjoying some quiet time, or making new memories with loved ones, I hope it's filled with everything that makes the season magical. Thank you for being part of this amazing community, and I wish you all the best this Christmas season. Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to this Moving Panels one-shot. Let's have a festive and nerdy conversation. And after last week when we talked about What If, Happy Hogan Saved Christmas, and their take on really the movie Die Hard, I said, you know what? I'm going to get a couple of guys and let's talk about what other Christmas classics. Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas classic. What other Christmas classics could they possibly do in the comic books? You know, retelling, reimagining, maybe even. And so joining me for that, first off, from Pop Culture Roulette, please welcome Nicholas Pepin.
Merry Christmas.
And a happy holiday to you. And, I mean, you can't do Christmas without this man from Totally Rad Christmas. It's Gerry D.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I have asked both of these gentlemen to come up with their own comic book superhero version of some holiday classics, and we're just going to kind of go around, each taking a turn, giving our pitch, if you will, and we'll discuss what we think. So let's go ahead and get this underway. As guests, I'm gonna let you guys go first. So Nicholas, let's hear your first pitch for a reimagining or a retelling of a Christmas classic.
All right. I have done it's been done 100 different ways, and I figured why not take a stab at it and do it 2 different ways. Well, we'll start with the Marvel version of Christmas Carol.
Okay. Yep.
So
one that definitely has been done several different ways.
Mm-hmm.
For the Scrooge version, we are going to start with Dr. Doom. He is going to be our Scrooge.
Love it. I love it.
Which means that Bob Cratchit will be Reed Richards.
That works, yeah.
That's perfect.
So, making Tiny Tim Franklin Richards.
Okay.
So, obviously, the first ghost being Marley, I've chosen Kingpin.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Picked. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. Wouldn't. But I'm with you. Go ahead.
Right, and so the Ghost of Christmas Past, a bit of a stretch, but he is one of the oldest of all the Marvel characters, Captain America.
All right.
Okay.
Also, being a little bit more jovial, I've chosen Ghost of Christmas Present to be the Thing.
Okay. I like that.
That works.
And then potentially one of the scarier of all the heroes, Doctor Strange would be the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Oh, that's interesting. I was figuring like Ghost Rider or something, but I like that.
All right. Well, yeah, it's just, I wanted to have somebody who could actually do something, not just like stare into the souls of,
Makes sense.
So Doctor Doom sees the error of his ways. And then goes on to team up with the Fantastic Four and the Avengers.
Okay.
And not only do they solve all of peace on Earth, they solve peace in all of the universe.
Wow, that's a very epic ending.
Yeah. That's, in all the universes or just that one universe?
Well, just that one particular universe, yeah. I mean...
Interesting.
So I'm assuming you're going with a what if scenario.
This is all. Yeah, I mean every
it's not
bit
616 continuity here.
No, this every bit of what I've done is Elseworlds or what if,
Right.
So other than that ending, is there anything that you would change, like kind of do somewhat differently than the actual traditional story?
I mean, other than, it would obviously be much more comic booky, and, you'd have the ability to go back and I'm picturing kind of a Scrooged-like version.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
okay. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the Thing maybe manhandles Doctor Doom a little bit more, or Doctor Strange gets real, like that when he does the the multiple hand creepy thing in the Doctor Strange movie, like he
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
really delve deep into the messing with the mind of Doctor Doom and just showing him like the old because I mean in Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange gets real crazy,
Mm-hmm.
especially when he's fighting himself, or in the books, like when he's going against Brother Voodoo, or
So would you still give Doctor Doom like a love interest?
I didn't think that I didn't go that far into the casting. I guess no, I'm sure that if I was to flesh the story out a little bit more, obviously, I'd have to have Fezziwig in there, and
Yeah.
some other various characters, but
I mean, Fezziwig, you could definitely go with I mean, you could go with Red Skull, or you could go with Strucker, or
right,
one of those
yeah.
other. Yeah, it'd been interesting though, like a young Doctor Doom working for Baron von Strucker. Like,
I'd like to see Mephisto in there somewhere. Just I don't know where yet. I just think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I almost went with Mephisto for Ghost of Christmas Future, but then I was like, he's evil to begin with.
seems a
So
little,
Well,
yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
right,
little too on the nose.
right. Well, that and like he wouldn't have any interest in making Doctor Doom a better person. Like,
This is true. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so yeah, let's do them one at a time. So,
Okay.
all right, Gerry D. So what you got
Okay,
as your
so-
first one up?
So, because there were mini comics, and then there were comics in both DC and gosh, who was it? IDW? I don't recall now. But
Okay.
I went with Christmas Vacation, the He-Man version of it.
Interesting. Oh, that's awesome.
so, so, okay, Clark Griswold is Man at Arms. Okay, so Duncan, he's
Okay.
going to be the main protagonist, and
Thought you were gonna go He-Man on that one.
I
so,
thought,
okay.
yeah, I tried to change it up a little bit. Ellen Griswold is actually the sorceress, and then
Okay.
so Rusty, the role of Rusty is played by Prince Adam / He-Man. Audrey is Tila. So of course it's not an exact 1-to-1, but
Yeah,
And then cousin Eddie is Orko, and you'll see why in a
that
little bit.
makes sense.
Yep, you'll
Yeah.
see why in a little bit. The parents are, of course, just King Randor and Queen Marlena. And Mr. Shirley, the boss, is Skeletor. All right, so here's the pitch. Man at Arms tries to host the best Christmas / twins' birthday, because we know it happens around Christmas time on Eternia from that Christmas special. So he tries to host the best Christmas twins' birthday party ever. But when mishap after mishap occurs, and after Skeletor replaces his annual bonus with a Roast Gooble of the Month membership, he snaps. So Orko, trying to help, kidnaps Skeletor. The evil warriors storm the palace, but He-Man, after tossing them around a bit, of course, convinces them to feast with them in the spirit of Christmas.
There you go. I would expect nothing less from the host of Totally Rad Christmas.
Oh, just wait till you get to my next one. So, we know that Skeletor kind of has a soft spot for Christmas already, but he needs He-Man to remind him a little bit. So we're going to get the big tirade from Man at Arms, where he just starts calling Skeletor all sorts of names because he made an old switcheroo of King Randor's bonus and gave him instead a Roast Gooble of the Month, membership. And in the end, He-Man, in the spirit of Christmas, just gives one of those big, nice, long speeches. He tells Skeletor, it only happens once a year. It's okay. And Skeletor's heart melts. So, yeah, I'm into it.
Kind of feels like kind of crossing into the Grinch there too.
A little bit,
Yeah.
it's might as well. There's a little bit of Grinch, I think, in Mr. Shirley. I just think it'd be fun to see them all around the table in the Eternian Palace, just eating roast gooble. So,
did you get a Todd and Margot?
I didn't. I should have. I didn't think that hard about it, but I think in this case, Todd and Margot might be oh gosh, I can't think of their names now. Prince Adam's cousin, the one that's real stuck up.
Oh,
Um, but it could be instead actually Evil Lynn and maybe
Beast Man.
Man. I think that'd
Yeah,
be fun.
definitely
Yeah,
Beast Man.
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Why is the carpet wet, Evelyn?
Don't know, Beast Man.
Yeah.
You fool, fur brain or what? Fur face. That's what they call 'em.
That's hilarious. You got an Aunt Bethany in there?
So Aunt Bethany would probably be Madame Raz from Etheria in the She-Ra show. She's kind of Aunt
Okay.
Bethany-ish. Yeah. I don't have an Uncle Lewis. I was really trying. I can't really think of anybody, but yeah, for sure Madame Raz. Maybe, oh, you know what? Uncle Montork. He would be Uncle Lewis. Yeah. Orko's
And
Uncle
the
Montork. So, yeah.
and and with the I do not know the character's name, but the cat that gets fried, would that be that dude that was always hiding in the episodes of She-Ra?
Looky. It could be
There you
Looky.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be a lot of fun, just
So not Battle Cat.
I don't think Battle Cat would get fried, but Cringer might. So, yeah. Maybe saved by the power of Grayskull just in time.
No, he'd be Snots, the dog.
Oh, that's right.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
Tried to take it in a more unexpected direction.
Oh, that definitely was unexpected. I did not see that coming at all. Was not expecting the He-Man
No,
connection there.
There's
I
comics.
did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are correct. So I went a little bit more traditional.
Okay.
And so let me give you my title. Because I came up with a title for mine.
Oh, nice.
In Shazam We Trust, a Christmas artifact quest.
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
So do y'all have an idea of what story
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
retelling
a Christmas
here?
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Christmas story.
Yeah.
In God we trust, all others pay cash. So yes, of course, in mine, Billy Batson would be playing the role of Ralphie.
Mm-hmm.
And he is determined to get his hands on an artifact that I decided to call the Crown of Eternity, which would grant its wearer the wisdom and strength of the gods. Because Billy wants to be as big as his idols, the Justice League. So that is the one thing that he desperately wants. But his excitement quickly turns to disappointment when Batman warns him against such a dangerous, powerful weapon. And meanwhile, Wonder Woman tries to balance Billy's lofty aspirations with the importance of relationships. So obviously Batman is the old man,
Right.
and Wonder Woman's playing like his mom type character.
Right.
And then, of course, finally, when Billy gets his hands on the Crown of Eternity, he discovers that its immense power is too much to handle. And, of course, is not the key to becoming a true hero. And he learns that the real source of strength comes from within.
Oh.
But I even envisioned a moment where Billy goes to the Fortress of Solitude and talks with Superman, kind of the same way that Ralphie goes and meets Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Superman telling him that, this probably isn't the best idea for you. This is you being a superhero is something you have to grow into, because that's something definitely Superman would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just going to happen from an artifact. And it gives them the analogy, like Green Lanterns aren't superheroes because of their ring, but instead because of their internal strength. Lex Luthor would be Farkas. he would be the Farkas character.
All right. I figured.
But of course, in this,
Savannah or
I thought about going actual
or Mr. Mind or
Shazam,
something. Yeah.
but no, I had to stick with Lex.
Okay.
Because my thought is to differ this a little bit. He is also looking for the crown.
Okay.
He's looking for it himself. Barry Allen and Hal Jordan could be the two friends. They get into all the different shenanigans with Hal daring Barry to do different things.
Flick, right?
Yeah. And then I said, you know what? You can't do this without there being some sort of leg lamp. So my thought here was that at some point Batman receives a miniature version of the bat signal from Commissioner Gordon, and he proudly displays it in the Batcave.
Look at my new lamp.
Yeah.
It's great.
But this time we would have a moment where when Billy needs to turn into Shazam, the lightning bolt and all that actually destroys the bat signal. The little miniature bat signal, and so that's how it would get destroyed there. So yeah, there you have it. There is my A Christmas Story retelling. In Shazam We Trust.
I like it because you could have all the little vignettes as well. They could just be like little superhero side adventures, where he has to go up against some sort of villain for that. And yeah, I think that's great. Who's gonna get their tongue stuck on the flagpole?
Well, again, that would be Barry. Barry would do something. Hal would make Barry do something, and Barry would end up, but change it a little bit. Like Barry's having to phase through something, and then he gets stuck.
He gets stuck. Yeah.
I tried to even think of doing something with the younger brother, and I couldn't really come up with something to do with Billy having a younger brother. Whether I wanted to go with another member of the Shazam family or wanted to go another route, like since I already had Batman playing the old man, if I wanted to do like maybe Damian as the younger brother.
Yeah.
And kind of go a route like that. But yeah, I decided to go Christmas Story.
I like it.
Yeah.
All
right, Nicholas, back over to you.
All right. So we'll just stick with the Christmas Carol. Because, I couldn't stop myself. Once I got on the Christmas Carol train, and I was like, I did Marvel. What would I do for DC? And I decided, I've never known exactly how to pronounce his name, because I've heard it 100 different ways. I've always said Ra's al Ghul.
I know Batman the Animated Series told us it was Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul, yeah.
Ra's al Ghul, but I know other things have called him Ra's.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those. It just depends.
All right.
I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we all know who you're talking about.
That's
so
right.
That's what matters.
So he's our Scrooge in this particular version.
Ooh, okay.
That works.
So I've decided that Dick Grayson is going to be Bob Cratchit, though.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because we'll see why. Damian Wayne is Tiny Tim.
Okay, yeah.
He might take offense to that, but all right.
Yeah, he would, but he'll get over it.
That's right.
I've chosen Vandal Savage to be the Marley Ghost.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Alfred, Ghost of Christmas Past.
Okay.
Making Batman the Ghost of Christmas Present. And then I really struggled with Ghost of Christmas Future. And I decided that to go with John Paul Valley, Azrael.
Oh, I like that.
I was actually thinking just that as you were talking.
I don't know why I was thinking Dead Man for some reason.
That would have been a good one.
But in this particular version, Ra's al Ghul doesn't learn the error of his ways.
Nice.
He is not transformed by the power of the ghost, and he takes everything that they have taught him, and he uses it against them, and only furthers his quest for domination and bringing the world much, much darker and closer to being under his control.
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds about.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I like that. That's just a fun take, especially at the the twist at the end, and you're just like, wait, what? He's not going to be a better guy, but
right. Well, I got Apple TV for the first time.
I was about to say it's like Spirited.
Yeah, I watched Spirited last year, and I was really taken aback. Like I was like, wait, this is something that continually happens, and I really I didn't necessarily like the movie so much. But I liked the idea, there's a group of people who work, that are the spirits and working and continually do this like year after year. And sometimes it doesn't work. And I was like, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
I do like that one. All right, Jerry, what you got for us for your second one?
Okay, so originally I was thinking about doing Home Alone, but I thought Nicholas was going to do Home Alone, so I
thought both of you were going to do Home Alone, so I also passed on an idea I had for Home Alone.
My Home Alone was going to be Jarvis, and the Masters of Evil were going to be trying to break in, but instead
We'll get to Home Alone.
So I completely redid it. So, have you guys seen A Muppet Family Christmas?
Yes.
Years ago.
From 1987.
Yes.
Yeah. So
a long time ago.
Okay.
Yes.
So I kind of took that and a little something from Kurt Busiek and George Perez. So Fozzie Bear is going to be played, the role of Fozzie is going to be Thor. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see why in a little bit. Okay. Kermit is Captain America. Robin is Falcon. Piggy is Iron Man. Gonzo is Hawkeye. Camilla is Mockingbird. So Bobby Morse. Animal, of course, is the Hulk. And the other Muppets are just other Avengers.
Of course.
Except for that lecherous turkey is going to be Eros, and that's important. Now, the Sesame Street gang is... so Big Bird is Superman. So I'm kind of combining it.
Oh,
okay.
All right. Ooh, crossover.
Bert and Ernie are Batman and Robin. And then the rest of the gang are just other Justice League members. They're kind of unimportant. And
man, there's something there with Bert and Ernie being Batman and Robin, isn't there?
I'll let you.
There.
The listeners can make up their own minds. And then the Fraggles I'll get into as I tell the story. So it's Christmas time. Thor surprises Freya and Odin by showing up uninvited with the Avengers to spend Christmas on Asgard, just like Fozzie does to his mom. Tony stayed behind, though, to attend galas and Christmas parties, and Cap worries about him getting to Asgard in time for the celebration. Meanwhile, Eros is putting the moves on Mockingbird, causing Clint to want to fight him. Okay. So we have that little subplot going on. And as all that's brewing, the Justice League arrive, Christmas caroling, and then they put on a performance of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." So if you remember, Batman is Ernie. So Ernie is the narrator, and Bert was Mama. So that's Robin in this one. All right.
Okay, which Robin? I need to know which Robin.
I'm going to leave it up to viewers' discretion. Okay.
All right.
Now, the Sentry keeps trying to fight Soups, just like the way that the Swedish chef was trying to cook Big Bird. Okay, but Clark's good nature melts his heart, and so in the end, he decides to just be friends with him. Now, while all that's happening, Captain America and Falcon, they find a portal which takes them to the Ultraverse, where they meet Prime and the Ultra Force celebrating their own version of Christmas.
Okay. Wow.
Just like they meet with the Fraggles underground. Meanwhile, Frost Giants attack with the Casket of Ancient Winters. That's the blizzard that happens in the original special. And after the heroes thoroughly beat them back, Tony finally appears, and then there's a big Christmas Carol sing-along. That's my special.
I mean, I'm in. Take my money. It's just
wow.
Yeah. I was like, I figured Ultraverse counts. Marvel technically bought them.
That's Malibu. It's technically.
I wanted to find a way, if I could, to incorporate like the Image, but I know DC kind of has a little bit of some of the Image characters, but I just couldn't quite work them in because there's really only 3 groups that converge in that special. So I figured, the way that the Fraggles live underground and no one really knows they're around is more similar to the Malibu Comics Ultraverse than it is to any of the Image heroes.
Heck, the way you were mixing, you could have just went Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I thought about it, actually.
Yeah.
I did think about it. So, yeah, that's my pitch.
In the sewers.
I mean,
dang.
If we're ever going to get a crossover, that would be how we do it. Like,
So I was inspired by if you remember that 2003, I think, or maybe 2005 crossover, there after Krona kind of breaks time a little bit, one of the things that they're having flashbacks to when they used to have parties every year. And the DC heroes come over to Marvel one year, and then the next year Marvel goes over to the DC heroes, and they just have like a big feast. And so I was kind of inspired by that, and I thought that's perfect. The Sesame Street gang invade the Muppets, Emily Bear's home. So why not have the Justice League come visit the Avengers?
That works. Man, we got to follow that now? All right. All right, so my second one, and I did only come up with two. I know y'all talked about maybe doing three, but I only came up with two. This one is called Santa of Steel.
Ooh.
Yes, it is a retelling of the 1985 Santa Claus the movie.
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's basically Superman, right? So that's perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You got it, kind of doing a variation of Red Sun here.
Oh, okay.
Instead of Kal-El landing in Smallville, he lands in the North Pole. And then he is raised by the spirit of Christmas,
okay,
and given the additional powers in order to spread joy to everyone, delivering gifts and inspiring hope. He does have a sleigh. It's a special enchanted sleigh, so I decided not to go any reindeers on this one.
That's okay.
And he has a loyal but fame-hungry assistant named Booster. There you go. And Booster dreams of stepping out of Santa Cal's shadow, and steals Santa's sleigh and travels down to Metropolis. Unfortunately, he is spotted by the military and shot down. He eventually meets businessman Lex Luthor, and together they launch Lexmas Toys, which is a line of affordable high-tech gadgets that are created by being infused with kryptonite.
Ooh.
The toys sell worldwide. However, the kryptonite core within these toys, and it being global, so there's kryptonite all over the globe, begins to sap Santa Cal's strength, leaving him too weak to deliver presents as Christmas approaches. But then you have a young reporter named Lois and her young photographer, get ready for this, Victor Stone.
All right.
Who are investigating Lexmas Toys because Lois believes that there's something nefarious going on. They discover that Lex's intent is to end Santa and profit from Christmas. And as they go to report the story, they are caught and kidnapped by Lex's head of security, Mercy, and Otis.
You gotta have Otis.
Yeah. And then Booster discovers Lois and Victor and helps free them. And they plan to help save Christmas. Victor using his vast technical knowledge, and Booster helps with a bit of North Pole magic to invent a device that will neutralize the effects of the kryptonite. Meanwhile, Lois goes to ask philanthropist Bruce Wayne for help, and he uses his contacts around the world to disable the Lexmas Toys before it's too late. And then in a final act of redemption, Booster, with the help of Victor, repair Santa's sleigh just in time for Santa to finish his rounds on Christmas Eve. And a humbled Booster returns to the North Pole. Santa Cal forgives him, teaching him that everyone deserves a second chance. And of course, the story ends with Santa soaring into the night sky, restored to his full strength.
With Sheena Easton singing the song.
Yes, and he of course performs like a super duper looper as he's flying away.
Oh man, I love that movie. So good. I'd watch the heck out of that. You did a great job.
Does that not feel like an episode of Justice League though? Like that
It does, yeah. It totally
very
does.
well could
But
have just been a random episode.
they had some great Christmas ones, that's for sure.
They did. All right. So it sounded, Nicholas, like you maybe had a third one. You have a third one? Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention my Home Alone. Just I didn't write it all out and plan it out, but my Home Alone was going to be Alfred in Wayne Manor.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't get to which of Batman's rogues would be the Wet Bandits, but it was going to be Alfred having to defend Wayne Manor. That was going to be my idea.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I did. I mean, I only did 2 stories. I just did 2 different casts for both stories.
Oh, okay.
So for Home Alone, for the Marvel one, I cheated a little bit, and I'm kind of taking from various different versions of I went with Peter Parker. But to make it work, I have to go with like the young Peter Parker. So like, because I know they've got like the young Spider-Man cartoons where like he's like a young kid.
Right.
But maybe not that young, but like he's definitely very new to his powers. So like he's only recently become Spider-Man. He gets left at Avengers Tower because the rest of the Avengers, or what did I write down here? I multiple pages of notes here. Gets left behind at Avengers Tower for Christmas vacation. Oh, that's right. They were on Christmas vacation. And you can't have big level villains being Marv and Harry. So I went with the Vulture and the Shocker. The Vulture being Harry and the Shocker being Marv.
All right. That works.
Because, you know, the Shocker's kind of a joke anyway. Like, he's always pretty easily defeated. That and, you know, he's eventually going to get shocked by something. You know, and so, like, you've got a young Peter Parker who's just learning his powers. Trying to defend Avengers Tower from the Vulture and the Shocker, who have teamed up to try to steal some stuff because they know that Iron Man and the rest of the Avengers are off on Christmas break doing something somewhere.
So what's your DC version?
All right. It's basically the exact same story, except for this time it's Wally West at Star Labs.
Nice. Oh, I like that.
There you go.
So Barry Allen has left Wally West at Star Labs. He's off. You know, him and the rest of the Justice League are off world doing some sort of massive crossover event, and Wally, he's just like, "Hey, you're too young. You stay over here." And Captain Cold and Heatwave decide to team up to steal things from Star Labs. Hilarity and many pranks and traps ensue.
That works. All right, Gerry, did you have any other ideas?
No, the only other one was the one I kind of alluded to, Home Alone, but starring Jarvis. And I really wanted to see him, instead of like all the elaborate traps, he just has to like break into each one of his the rooms of like Captain America and Iron Man and use some of their stuff that they've left lying around. So like an Iron Man glove he has to like use a repulsor from that, and you know, things like that to eventually win. But he's saved instead of by by Old Man Marley. He's saved when oh gosh, who was it that I wrote down? He saved when, I think I said Cap, but I don't think that would work correctly. But he said when Cap comes because he forgot like a present that he was going to give to Sharon. So
yeah,
that's all. I mean, pretty simple.
Yeah. No, I brainstormed a few other ideas. I tried to avoid, again, y'all were thinking of when we were discussing, both of y'all kind of brought up Home Alone. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to do Home Alone, even though I'd thought of the Alfred idea. I wanted to stay away from A Christmas Carol and It's a Wonderful Life, because those have been done several different ways, and even in the comics and cartoons and all.
Right.
So just an idea I had, because I was trying to let me think of some of the more obscure movies. And that's one of the reasons I thought of Santa Claus the movie, even though I think it's a great movie, but it's one that not a lot of people will first think of when you're
one of my dad's favorite movies.
It's great. I love it. I saw it in theaters. It was fun.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was too young. But
Oh.
I'm just saying. But I did think of, what if I did a version of Deck the Halls?
Okay.
And had it be Tony Stark and Reed Richards are competing as to in decorating Avengers Tower
And the
versus the Baxter Building. Yeah.
I like that.
And just coming up with the more elaborate decorations for all that. So that was kind of another idea
Well, if we're talking
that I came up with.
if we're talking brainstorm, I didn't really delve into any at all, except I was thinking, what if it was like the X-Men, like maybe Professor X gives Kitty Pryde, something, and it turns out to be a brood egg, and so it's like Gremlins, but X-Men versus the Brood. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I hadn't got there yet, but I was going to think about the Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really stuck on the idea of Iron Man taking over. Like, Santa falls off his roof and he puts on the suit. But I hadn't gone. Once you said that, like, we weren't going to do that many, I was like, all right, let's.
Yeah, same. I was like, I just need two. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, we could have kept going, but I mean, this is a one shot. We want to keep this short and sweet, especially with this coming out the week of Christmas. So we're hoping everybody at least enjoys this short little nerdy conversation that we have. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. This was fun. I really enjoyed this one. It was fun to do, and it was fun to hear y'all's ideas. I still want to see. I want to see that crossover. I really do.
It'd be something if eventually the studios work together and we actually got like a live action Justice League and Avengers, but that's never going to happen.
Well,
hey, look.
Eventually Disney's just going to get tired and buy Warner Brothers. So
there you go. Yeah. And I mean, we got those like anti-drug little crossover cartoons in the late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was that they did those. Mm-hmm. So you never say never. I mean, we have had a couple of comic crossovers between DC and Marvel.
That's true, and some unofficial ones.
Never say never.
Maybe we'll get the Amalgam Universe one of these days.
See, I almost threw in the Amalgam Universe instead of the Ultra Force as well. I thought, oh, maybe, but then I thought, well, that might be a little too obscure. But I don't know. Maybe it's. I think Ultraverse might be more obscure than Amalgam now that I think about it.
I was about to, how many? Even though Ultraverse had its own cartoon, how many people really know what Ultra Force was?
Yeah, that's true. Have you watched the cartoon?
Oh yes, I have. Absolutely,
it's something.
It was on Prime Video, so I think it's available out there for people to watch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Happy holidays, everybody. From us here at Moving Panels, and of course, I'm sure Nicholas and Gerry also from their respective podcasts wish everybody a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas and happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and whatever you might celebrate. We just hope you enjoy it. Go out and see some of these movies if you haven't seen them in a while, and try to come up with your own idea. And if you want, share them with us on social media. But we'll go ahead and wrap things up for today. For Moving Panels, I'm Laramy Wells. And I'll see you on the other side of the page.